There are many stories in the Bible that echo through time. Stories of love, loss, betrayal, and redemption. Stories that are common to mankind. Maybe you believe in Jesus. Maybe you don't. Maybe you wonder if God is real at all. But there is one story, one act, so profound that Jesus himself declared would be remembered wherever the gospel is preached. A moment so significant that long after her family's name faded into history, her name, her story would still be told. Because what she did was not ordinary, it was eternal. And perhaps, as you hear her story, you will realize this story is not just about her, it's about you. Will you hear it? Will you see what she saw? Will you respond as she did?
I knew him. I walked with him. I shared meals with him. I sat at his feet as he spoke of a kingdom I longed to understand. I saw his miracles, blind eyes opening, the lame walking, the hungry fed with almost nothing. I saw him command storms, silence demons, heal with just a word. And then I saw him call my brother from the grave.
Now a man named Lazarus was sick. He was from Bethany, the village of Mary and her sister Martha. This Mary, whose brother Lazarus now lay sick, was the same one who poured perfume on the Lord and wiped his feet with her hair.
Lazarus had been dead 4 days, sealed in the tomb, gone. And yet at the sound of his voice,
Lazarus,
he walked out alive.
come out!
I should have known. I should have fallen to my knees at that moment. Should have seen what was right in front of me. But instead, I stood there,
The dead man came out, his hands and feet wrapped with strips of linen and a cloth around his face. Jesus said to them, "Take off the grave clothes and let him go."
Why had he let us suffer? The pain, the grief, the sorrow for the past 4 days, the nights of mourning, and the breaking of my heart. Was it all wasted? Why would Jesus allow me to suffer if he was only going to undo it? I was grateful. Oh, I was grateful, but I was also angry, still confused, still offended, and so I held on. I held on to my questions, my doubts, my fears. I held on to this flask. It was my security, my inheritance, my future. My father had given this to me, knowing I could never bear children. And for a woman without sons, without a name to pass on, it was almost like a curse. This flask was all I had, worth a year's wages, meant to sustain me if I ever had need of it. And yet, as I sat in my silence, in my questioning, I realized I had nothing else. I'd walked beside him, followed him, listened to his words, but I'd never truly seen him for who he truly was. Not until that night. Not until the veil over my heart finally lifted And I saw what I was too blind to see. That afternoon, 2 days before Passover, I lay down, hoping for sleep to quiet my thoughts. And then it happened. A dream. I stand beside my brother's lifeless body, frozen in time. As we wrap him in linens, my heart shatters, piece by piece. The stone rolls over the cave's entrance. And then a voice from the darkness. Jesus calling, Lazarus! I turn, heart pounding as I see my brother walking out of the cave, still bound. I pull at the cloths, expecting to see my brother's eyes. But this time it's different. This time it's Jesus himself. His gaze pierces me deeper than words. And suddenly I see the raising of Lazarus was never just about us. It was a sign, a glimpse of what was coming. Then he speaks, a whisper that shakes my soul. I am the resurrection and the life. At that moment I know he is the Son of God, sent for me, for my sin, for my unbelief. He wasn't just a teacher. He wasn't just a miracle worker, a friend, a healer. He was the Lamb, and I had not believed. I had sat at his feet, listened to his words, walked beside him, and I had not seen him for who he truly was. I knew I had one thing left to give. This, my inheritance, my security, my future. I took it in my hands and ran. I ran through the dark streets of Bethany. I had heard where he was. Simon the Pharisee was hosting a dinner, and Jesus was there, sitting at the table with his disciples, the men who had followed him for years. And I burst into the house, and the room fell silent. I could feel the stares, the whispers, the judgment, but I didn't care. I had come for him. I walked straight to him and fell at his feet. And then I broke it. The flask, the oil, my security, my past, the future. The fragrance filled the room, and I wept. Tears spilled down my face as I poured down everything I had, everything I was upon him. I let the tears fall onto his feet, and with nothing left to offer, I wiped them with my hair. Some scoffed, some called it a waste. Why this waste? Judas sneered. This perfume could have been sold for a year's wages and given to the poor. But Jesus silenced them all. He called it beautiful. He said I had done this and prepared for his burial. Only then did I truly understand. Only then did I truly see. I thought that I was pouring out my life for him, giving him everything I had. My future, my inheritance, my brokenness, my sin, my unbelief, my security, my grief. But in truth, I was anointing the Son of God for victory over death itself. For the grave would not hold him, and this anointing was not for mourning, but for his triumph. This was no longer about my security. It was no longer about my inheritance. It was no longer about my future. He was my future. He is my inheritance.